Alrighty, so we're back in the garage once again. If you're familiar with the channel, we've obviously done a lot of shoots in here. We've done underwater shoots, we've done smoke machine shoots, we've done bubble photography as well. We've done it all, but there's one thing we haven't done yet, and that is fire photography. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. But first, to achieve this fire, we are going to be using this fire starter, which is basically, yes, flint and steel. And just a little demo. Essentially creates these really awesome sparks. And I've done this shoot before a very long time ago, and the results are pretty cool. But I think I can do it a lot better now that I've learned a lot more photography skills over the years. So yeah, we're gonna give it another go and create some better photos. Now, the setup that I've got is same thing as usual, black background, table, and I've got my Ulanzi light over here, which always does a terrific job at lighting these scenes. I've changed one thing though, and that is holding up the background. So what I've done is I've put 2 holes into the black background, put some fishing wire through, and basically hooked it onto 2 nails on the top of my garage. That way it can stay in one spot and it's not leaning on like a ladder or something like I've done so many times in the past. So as far as the diorama goes, I'm using grass from my lawnmower, and then I've collected a log and then just chipped away all these different pieces. Now as far as the characters go, we're going to be using these 2 army dudes, which we can create a whole bunch of stories with. And then we've got these 2 ninjas. Now, the army dudes will be easy. I just create like a battlefield. But the thing I want to do with these ninjas is almost have like both of them jumping towards each other and just fire raining down. Like, I reckon that'll be such an awesome cinematic shot. Might even try some long exposure photography in here. But yeah, I think today's gonna be a good video. Pretty sure we'll be able to get some cool photos today. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Now, when you're recreating your own dioramas, the main thing you want to keep in mind is you want to create depth with the objects that you're using. So I've got the grass and then I've got the logs. Now, the best way to create depth is to have almost layers. You've got the background, you've got the middle ground, and then you've got the foreground. The foreground is easy, you can push the grass up to create that. Then the mid ground is maybe where you'll have your character and a few logs, and then the background is where you want more objects than usual because you want to create that depth. You've got the 3 layers and it just makes the image look like an actual landscape rather than just like a flat playing field. Starting off, these photos are going super well. The main thing you want to consider is using a tripod for these sort of photos. When you're image stacking in Photoshop, you need each shot to be in the exact same place, so it makes it easier to layer over those photos. Because what I'm doing is in each photo, I'm trying to disperse the sparks in all these different areas so that when it comes time to merging them together, I can create a nice, well-balanced and dynamic scene. Okay, so it's currently nighttime and we are now moving on to the ninja sets, and I think this is going to be a pretty cool one. So what we've done is we've set them up on these different Lego rods to make them look like they're floating. Now obviously we'll remove them in Photoshop, but what I'm hoping to do here is a long exposure shot where it's just raining these sparks. And you've got the figures in the middle. I think this could be an awesome shot. I think I'm getting my inspiration from the Kung Fu Panda scene when Tai Lung is making his way out and you see all the arrows fall down. This is kind of what I'm trying to do here. So the way I'm going to achieve this is have the sparks flying in the background rather than all over the place. I'm going to try and get it in the back as much as I possibly can. And yeah, we'll see what we can do here. That wasn't a bad photo shoot at all. Before I continue, I'm going to apologize because there's a dog barking next door and you'll probably hear that throughout the video. and I can't cut it out, so. Although this wasn't a particularly exciting shoot compared to the last three, I think it was still a pretty fun shoot. I mean, this first soldier photo here was pretty cool. I was just trying to make this scene as dynamic as possible by just throwing sparks everywhere I could just to create like a battle scene as if he's like running away. And I think the results are pretty good. I mean, it's quite cool how these sparks, when they're flying away, they create these little twirls of smoke. It looks really cool. And also the highlights just make this image look so sick. Like on the figure you can just see that it's lit up by these sparks, which it makes it look so much more like cinematic and real. And then I was just playing around with the different logs and creating these nice little bunkers for him. And I think it looks so sick because the bunker creates like a nice shadow over him, and then each spark is like creating a ball of light. It looks so sick. I'm so sorry for this dog. These are honestly probably one of my favorite photos from this shoot. It's really simple, but the sparks really show the textures of the logs and also just seeing the reflection of the light on its face. It looks very cool. Looks very cool. Then we moved on to using some long exposures for these ninja photos, and they didn't go, I mean, they're really cool photos, I think, and going through them there was some really cool effects, and I don't know, it didn't look as cool as I thought it would be, but this was kind of my favorite image from the stack. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing too special about it. You've got the lines and stuff like that. I think it's just how harsh the lines look. Like, they look painted on. I don't know, it's still an okay image. And then for the last shoot, I wanted to create more of a story with these, so I got a few Star Wars figures and lined them up with each other. When you're doing this, you have to be very cautious. You don't want flammables nearby, and you always want to have water on standby. You can probably tell what liquid it was. I poured it over the logs and I was just flicking sparks near it as much as I could until it caught fire. Just to create more of a dynamic scene rather than just having sparks, there's actually flames to it as well. And again, I don't think there's anything insanely special about these photos, but I mean, it's just a simple scene, really. That's kind of what I was going for, and still really happy with these photos. And also this cropping, it just looks so nice. And again, the highlights from the sparks and everything just makes this scene look so sick. Like, you can see the highlights in the Stormtrooper's helmet, and yeah, it's a cool shot. It's a cool shot. Apologies if this video seems rushed. I just finished my Bricks in Middle-earth Chapter 1. Jesus Christ, this dog won't shut up. And I was trying to get this video out as soon as possible because next week I've got a very big video on the way. And if you watch Bricks in Middle-earth Chapter 1, at the very end you might get a subtle hint to what it might be. But I can't say anything right now, but I think it might be one of my biggest videos of the year. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Bricks in Middle-earth Chapter 1, please go watch it. I think it's one of the proudest videos I've ever made, so make sure to go check that out. And yeah, let me know which photo was your favorite from this series. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.